We put a 30-barrel brew house in here, and we did about 40,000 barrels out of this space.
I think this is where I have the canner with that garage door right there.
Yes.
That's where you showed it to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Which one did we help build? Which building?
All of them, all of them. We find the art and the craft and the consistency. Yesterday. A lot of other craft brewers would say this. Oh, you lose the art with the consistency. I'm saying this is the art. The art is the consistency, and so that's what we focus on: making the same exact beer every single time. Yep. And I always joke. I'm sure you've probably heard me say it. The wine guys have it easy because they have it's a bad year. We are dealing with essentially the same variations in raw materials. The product has to be the same every single time. That's the consumer's expectation. If you've opened up a Fiddlehead IPA, there's a very good chance you had it before. And we have to make sure, that's what our job is every day, that we're making sure that expectation is met. Yeah, it could be hot. Yeah,
I'm not touching it.
It's hot. Yeah. Oh, look at this, guys. That's smashing in right there. That's the first step. Yeah, Roberto, that's a great visual. So right now, what we're doing is we've crushed the grain, the malted barley that we received from our silos, and we've crushed it at a very precise type of crush where we're not over pulverizing the grain, but allowing for the inner starches to be converted to sugar. And we're mixing it with water at a 3-to-1 ratio. This is a very English style of brewing. We call it a single-step infusion mash, which means that we will try to get everything to stabilize at about 152 degrees Fahrenheit. And at that temperature, we're utilizing both alpha and beta amylase to convert all the starches to simple sugars. And then the yeast will consume those sugars and create alcohol and carbon dioxide. Go yeast, which is what we want. That's what we love. I hope you brought your bathing suit. This is the whirlpool. So there's an interesting story about this. So there's this guy one day, and he's sitting at home, and he fancied himself an inventor. So he's drinking tea, and it's loose tea, and he's spinning it around. Well, over time, what's happening is it's not only spinning this way, it's spinning like this, and eventually all the particles settle in this cone at the bottom of his tea glass. And he's like, whoa. And this dude he had some understanding of the brewing world, and he realized that this would be beneficial to the brewing industry. So he went down to his local brewery and he showed him this technology. He said, check this out. If you whirl this and let it set for like 10 minutes, you can leave all of that, we call it trub, behind. And this is proteins, spent hops, things that will create a dirty fermentation, bad flavors. So the guy goes to the brewery and says, this is it. Within 5 years, every brewer in the world has a whirlpool. This guy never pulled a patent. Never.
Didn't get any money for it.
No. The guy's name is Albert Einstein. The brew house, I should say, is from a company called Rolec in Germany. So it's like the brew house is like a high-end VW. All right, it's not a Porsche, but it's a high-end VW. It's a utilitarian. It's going to get you there, and it's going to do it really well. But they came with a whole team of welders from Germany to put it in. They got kicked out of a couple of bars. They drink all day long, but they weld the shit out of it. Yeah, they're good. They're good. So everything comes off the brew house right to this. This is the heart of the brewery right here, and look at all this hard piping. You're not going to find this in another facility.
I didn't even realize that.
This is so you're always going to have hoses in a brewery, but if you can minimize the amount of hoses you have, you're going to have a closed system, much more repeatable results. It's cleaner, it's safer, and it's less labor because you're not setting up lines every day. So from here, you could go anywhere in the facility. Hey, Mike, cost over $1 million, paid for itself in a matter of months. We were able to obtain about 20% more yield through the centrifuge per batch. So that's the beer coming in.
Okay.
All right, and that's the beer coming out. So we know that we want beer yeast in our finished product, okay? But where we differ, and you guys know this, if you're out and you look at other competitors of ours, and the keg can have a lot of inconsistency from the start to the finish, right? Because their yeast is very flocculent. This strain of yeast I developed, it's 3 different strains that we mixed together to obtain a yeast and haze that's stable. And not only is it stable, but going through the centrifuge, we're able to say, and we use a measurement called NTUs. And NTUs are a measurement of the turbidity of the liquid. And so we know when it's coming in, we can take it from fermentation down to the exact NTUs that we want to be at packaging. And so that's why our beers are consistent, and that's why when we're out, it's a selling story, because you're going to get, from our kegs, you are going to get 100% of those beers are going to be pourable, sellable product. Whereas, and it's going to be consistent versus, as you know, sometimes it can be look like mud, and then the next pint's bright, and then it goes back to mud at the end.
You're going to go down and shake the keg or something?
Exactly. So that's, trying to get a desired result, but not having the tools, no institutional knowledge, and financial means to make it happen. Really the most important thing that we do, and that's really to provide you with the best product, a stable product, something that's free of contamination, and something that's true to brand. And we don't play games with any of those things. And I talk about it all the time. I will dump beer. We will dump, I'll probably dump 4 or 5 batches a year. Not like, oh my God, this batch is infected. This is it's B-, and we don't sell B- beer. But that's the unfortunate thing about this business is most people do, and they don't care. And that's where we differ, and that's why we are where we are. I mean, I think it's pretty simple. You do it right, know what you're doing, know how to do it, have knowledge, and then execute. And execute every single day, and execute on the small stuff too. The big part of our success is that I have always put money back into this part of the business. So this is, you guys know, this is where I started. I was not a marketer, not a business guy, I'm a brewer. And I've done every one of these jobs. I know the heartaches, I know what it takes to do every job. And so I like to think of myself like generation 2 of like craft brewers. Like we were the doers. We were the guys, the people who are actually out there making the beer. And I think you approach the business differently from that perspective.